Chapter 6 of Noli tangere is entitled Kapitan Tiago. This chapter is significant because it introduces one of the most important characters in the novel, a man of Filipino descent who is considered one of the richest property owners. He is the richest in Binondo because he has many businesses and other types of property. He is also famous in Pampanga and Laguna as a sendero. The chapter starts with the preparations of the dinner party that Kapitan Tiago is the hosting. The narrator describes the elaborate arrangement that are being made for the party, including the decorations, food, and the guest list. Kapitan Tiago's house is described as a symbol of the wealth and opulence with its elegant furniture and artwork. He considers himself a real Spaniard. He is strong with the people in the government, but almost rich people are his friends. Kapitan Tiago is the best example in our society that they will make everything just to maintain a relationship with the government official to avoid any conflict. Just like our present, many rich people pretend just to maintain their good image in public for the people so that they will not forget them and always remember them. The Philippines time of the Rizal is really sad. I cannot imagine what life would be like without the freedom that we have today. The Filipinos at that time were treated like a slave without a pay. The abuse and corruption are so very wide. And also the education of the Filipino is not giving enough or they can stand up because the education was controlled also. We Filipinos suffered so much abuse that time and were not giving enough justice for the justice that we suffered at the hand of the Spaniard. Overall, the chapter 6 they stage the rest of the novel and introduce the important themes such as the social class, the power dynamics, and the discriminations.
Written in Spanish and published in 1887, Jose Rizal Noli tangere played a crucial role in the political history of the Philippines. Drawing from experience, the conventions of the 19th century level, and the ideals of European liberalism, Rizal offered of a devastating critic of a society under Spanish colonial rule. The plot revolves around Crisostomo Ibarra, mixed race heir of a wealthy clan, returning home after 7 years in Europe and filled with ideas on how to better a lot of his countrymen. Chapter 7 in the Leo and Una Azotea. After 7 years, Ibarra and Maria finally met. On 1896 in Binondo, Manila, Ibarra visited Maria Clara to let her know how much she misses and loves Maria Clara, even when he is so far from her. Ibarra mentioned that whenever he went, thinking of Maria made him less lonely. In Germany, he often took a stroll in the woods. He always calls Maria Clara. In Italy, a lovely garden reminds him how sweet Maria Clara is. The bright moonlit nights that cleared his way home. Maria said that her only remembrance that she got from Ibarra is the letter he gave about his father. Ibarra then leaves. This is also when Ibarra learns of the excretion of his father's body and the social cancer that had befallen his birthplace.
Juan Crisostomo Ibarra, raised by his father Don Rafael, growing up in San Diego. In 1874, he left to study in Europe. He later returned after 7 years upon hearing about the death of his father. Ibarra's carriage passed through the happy area of Manila. Everything he sees bring back many memories. Carriage and cromatas going here and there. People with their European, Chinese, and Filipino clothes. Women selling fruits, men's porters, restaurants. Even carts pulled by slow buffalo. He also passed some chained prisoner and crushed stone. He then remembered the incident that stuck in his memory. When he was 11 years old, he saw a dead prisoner laying blindfolded. Near the cart, a nerve leader where 2 other prisoners keep working. Also passed through San Gabriel, he saw the talisay tree that had become even more stunted. The escota thought he was even more disfigured. Then he saw the elegant car carrying the stuff who were sleepy at the entrance. The military men, Chinese, and immobile priests he also saw. Father Damaso frowning in a beautiful courage. Captain Tinong also greeted him with his wife and 2 children. He also saw the tobacco factory, which reminded him of his dizziness due to the smell of tobacco. All good memories were erased when they made their way to the botanical garden. He reminded the botanical garden in Europe that attract many people. The whole Manila for him has no development, but the buildings are just being washed away by time. Because of this, Ibarra thought of what his priest teacher had said. First, wisdom can be obtained when the heart desires. Second, the wisdom must be cultivated and transferred to the next generation. Third, there must have been a benefit if the natives stay here to take the country's wealth. Then the foreign country should only provide the wisdom and education.
First event will be when Crisostomo Ibarra returns home after 7 years in Europe and filled with ideas on how to better the lot of his country. So, striving for reforms, he is confronted by an abusive ecclesiastical bureaucracy and a Spanish civil administration by turns indifferent and cruel. From Don Rafael's unfair death to all of the unfair treatment Crisostomo suffered from the hands of the Spanish hierarchy and the fears, it is really evident that Crisostomo Ibarra has suffered the unfair treatment from them. An example of this is when Padre Sal accused him of revolting against the Spaniards' government through the evidence was so weak. So the next important event is when Don Rafael passed away and Crisostomo soon learns that he died in prison after accidentally killing a tax collector and being falsely accused of other crimes by Father Damaso. Today, accusing someone of any crime will not be easily honored, as true or false, a great investigation will be established to know the truth to prevent innocent people from being wrongfully imprisoned. So, killing a person and accusing a person of killing is a critical and serious crime that needs a true investigation and undergoes a lot of judicial trials for it to be justified.
San Diego is a legendary town in the Philippines, located in the shores of the lake and with a vast countryside. The author of this document is Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realunda. Was born on June 19, 1861 at Calamba, Philippines. Died December 30, 1896 at Manila. He was a patriot, physician, and a man of letters who was an inspiration to the Philippine nationalist movement. Its main target as an audience was the Filipino citizens, while also conveying a message to other nations as well. 3 things in the document that are important. First, the chapter provides a detailed depiction of the social hierarchy in the town of Santiago. Second, the chapter highlights the ways in which the ruling class exploits the poor in Santiago. And last, despite the oppressive conditions in Santiago, the chapter also shows that many of the town's residents are unhappy with the status quo and desires change. This document was written to convey a message to the Filipino people. 2 things that tell me about the life in the Philippines at the time the document was written. First, the Philippines was under Spanish colonial rule for more than 300 years, which greatly influenced the country's culture, politics, and society. Second, the Filipino was primarily an agrarian society with a majority of the population engaged in farming and other agricultural activities.